So you finally decided that you're going to take the big leap and start doing some retro achievement hunting. But the problem is you're not quite sure where exactly to start. Well, that is what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to kind of give you guys some tips and advice, if you will, to get you on the right foot forward and achieving all of your retro achievement dreams and goals. So the first tip, it's going to be kind of, I guess you could say, obvious to a degree, but maybe you might be overthinking stuff because you're just kind of overwhelmed with the whole universe of games being at your fingertips. But what you should do, in my opinion, is if you are trying to focus on your score and trying to go up the ladder, so to speak, on the leaderboard, focus in on those games that you know that not only you can beat, but also get through a lot of things as quickly as possible. So what I mean is early on, just don't be picking games that either you're not familiar with or you know you're going to struggle a bit on trying to achieve some of those harder achievements for those games. Which, going into tip number 2, it kind of follows suit, is don't focus so hard on just trying to master games. Because if you're trying to go up the ladder on the score side of things, if you're putting too much time into just mastering certain games, you might have like a lot of mastered games, but you might not be too high up on the leaderboards. Now, if you're not worried about being higher up on the leaderboards, then by all means, feel free to take all the time you need to master the games that you play. And my third tip, look for games that have multiple ports. So as we know, there are games that were both on the Super Nintendo and on the Genesis, or even on the N64 or the PlayStation 1. So look for those games that you know that you can play and not only beat in a timely fashion, but also that you know you could play that same game on another port to raise your score on the leaderboard a little bit quicker. My fourth tip is probably my most important tip, is if you have a screen recorder, I highly suggest that you record your sessions. And the reason I say that is that I have had multiple occasions where I actually did whatever the achievement told me to do, but it didn't trigger. So if you're in the event that you did in fact do an achievement based off of what it asked you to do and it does not trigger, you have the proof to the moderators that you did in fact do what was to be asked of you, it just did not trigger. The next thing would be to participate in the community events. So you'll see on the community tabs, if you go into the forums, that there will be different events and they'll tell you what you need to do, rather it's certain games and you're trying to do certain things. But overall, you will see that there are different events and that'll kind of push you to either play different games, or maybe you, by some stroke of dumb luck, you'll have the games that you already know that you can play and play rather well, and then go through and get achievements by also being active within the community. And the last thing that I have for you guys is to check the Easy Achievements tab that is on the Retro Achievements site. Not necessarily saying that the achievements themselves are going to be easy, even though it says that, but one thing you can kind of look into is some of those achievements that have a higher score than maybe some other achievements, but they actually aren't quite as bad to accomplish over some of their lower scoring counterparts. And you would actually be surprised at some of the higher end achievements that aren't really as bad to achieve as what you would think, outside of some of the other ones that have a similar score factor to them. But that is all I had for today, guys. If you have any more questions regarding retro achievements that you want to throw my way that maybe I didn't answer in this video, or just, things that you might just want me to answer, feel free to post them up in the comments below, and then I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.